afternoon, everyone, and Merry Holiday, Merry Christmas. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Wednesday, December 25, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Stillness is the greatest achievement one can have in this life, or any life, Papa J. And most of us find it challenging to be still, quiet, because we've been taught to, that hey, you're not doing anything, you're not being productive by being just sitting and being, which is tremendously powerful because it opens the door to the gods that we are within these bodies. And right now on the planet, for the most part, there's a calm that we experience. Family gatherings and people getting together. And now the people that are just with themselves finding solace and contentment. And of course there's the others that don't know how to. And sometimes we can get weighed down because we embrace too many things. And we get kind of confused and stressed, and all that ego mind stuff comes flooding in. In order for us to transcend something, it helps to better understand it, comprehend it. And a lot of the times, do we really look at something that seems to be, say, overwhelming or too much? Or do we just ignore it? And actually, what causes it? Well, it originates from those deeper beliefs that say that we should or shouldn't be experiencing something. And then we judge the experience that we're having. And then this feeling, almost an overwhelming feeling, can often contain this internalized time pressure from deadlines that you, right, have placed on yourself. So this means you choose to have too much to do in too little time. A lot of us believe that it's outside of us, that something else is creating it, not you. But when it all comes down to it, you realize, wait a minute, I'm the one that is doing this to me. And then you realize that it's all about over-promising to ourselves and under-delivering. So if we continue buying into all the things our mind says to have to do, and how everything must be done as soon as possible, happiness can seem like an impossible dream. Isn't it interesting that we do this, but we don't believe that we're doing it? And this is where we come in and say, my mind is doing this, and I'm not aware it's doing it. And if we believe in all the ideas that our mind is constantly spinning around us like a spider web, we will start feeling trapped in our lives. Thoughts are harmless in themselves, but it's when we latch on to our thoughts like a life preserver, believe that they are the true reality of our existence, that suffering is created in our world. Now, if we are constantly chasing the illusions of our mind, we will simply end up tired, frustrated, and overwhelmed. And we got to remember that our minds have been programmed to endlessly search, seek, and pillage to find happiness, fulfillment, and abundance in the outer world. So it is a constant search. And the ironic thing is that the mind will never be satisfied. And the search will never satisfy you and can only bring exhaustion. This is the perfect experience. So you will retire the mind and discover the infinite spiritual source of your being. This is about us mastering our thoughts, mastering the ego mind. And the only way we find that true happiness and fulfillment that our mind is desperately seeking is to recognize that the God source is always here, now. And when we connect with that peaceful stillness, that is who we truly are. So we automatically feel a deep sense of fulfillment, and this is when we will naturally relax and see the futility of striving so hard for outer contentment. Now imagine what it would be like to fully relax into this moment right now, as you have relaxed into your body, found a comfortable place with no outside interference, and you're as still as you can be, focused on your breath rising and falling. That's what fully relaxing in this moment is about. And stop worrying so much about achieving something in the next moment. And you simply choose to allow your mind and physical body to completely relax. Now, if you truly know that the now moment is perfect and focus simply on what you are doing in each single second instead of the future, you will naturally start to relax. It is impossible to feel overwhelmed when you are completely present to the now. And you see the perfection of the now moment, because overwhelm is a feeling generated by future thoughts. See, this is where we're in the future. You know, we're in the now, but we aren't in the now. We're in the future all the time. We're wandering off. If you start to feel overwhelmed in your life, simply stop and begin to practice the fine art of trusting the perfection of each moment as it arises. Whenever you start to feel overwhelmed, the best thing to do is to simply take a few deep breaths in. Most of us, which, it's never really talked about, but most of us, we breathe in very shallow ways because we are constantly being driven by all the thoughts our mind is throwing at us. And each time we take a deep breath, we relax our body-mind. And the more we breathe deeply, the more we naturally let go feelings of stress. And we begin feeling more peaceful and centered about our lives. Now, our bodies may resist relaxation at first. Yet, when you imagine that everyone you love is looking at you with eyes of love, your body will eventually melt and let go. This universe is literally holding you in a warm cradle of deep eternal love. It is taking care of all of your needs. All you need to do is simply focus on relaxing your body, mind, so that you can receive all of this love and support. A relaxed body-mind is a receptive one that is open to receiving support and help from this universe. The more receptive your body-mind is, the easier it is for you to navigate through your life. There is one technique that you can practice this week to help you completely relax, transcend any overwhelm, and finally find peace within. See, there should be for us that we commit for ourselves every morning to have laid out a certain practice. Because why? Well, you get into a practice of something where every morning, like every morning you wake up, you bring your attention to your breath, which most people don't. Notice how open, relaxed, and peaceful you are. You may be really relaxed or barely conscious that you are relaxed. Yet just upon waking up, watch the breath during these precious moments. It will soon open you up to finding a sense of freedom and spaciousness inside you. Use this time to free your mind from all concerns and relax deeper into the spacious creative energy that you are. Hang out in this spacious feeling as long as you can. And then during your day, take time to return to the memory of this feeling, to re-enter and explore this spacious feeling again. And you just enjoy it. And most of us will, usually we open our eyes and we go right into tomorrow or the next day or the next week or the next month or, it's endless, the next year. All these things come flooding in. And then we're already stressed. And we don't know it, but we're stressed because we went into the future. And most of us don't know what it's like being in the now. To many of us, it seems like it's boring. Being in the now and focused on the moment, how do you do that? You practice one step at a time because you look at moment to moment whatever you're doing. So you're focused on whatever you're doing moment to moment. It could be grating cheese. It could be washing your hands. It could be anything. Well, most of us look at those actions as being insignificant. But they're really not, because they're in the moment. They're in the now. And as you practice doing that more and more, we have a tendency to stay in the now. All those little things that we really don't pay any attention to, But then we start saying, since all I will ever have is the now. We don't have tomorrow. And yesterday is gone, permanently. So you just have the now. And actually in the now is where everything takes place. Not tomorrow or the next day or so on and so forth. And practicing this gives us the opportunity to relax. And most of us don't relax. We think we do, but we don't. And it's like these meditations that we do, is that we're in the now in these meditations. We practice being in the moment. We don't practice being, well, when you first come into it, you've got other things and you've different things going on. But then when you go into meditation, all that drops away. And then you start embracing yourself. Excuse me. And the reason this life can be so challenging is because of one main obstacle. It's our mind. It's what we think about. It's how we over-identify with the mind in certain thoughts that it becomes attached to or avoids. And we all know that when the mind gets really stuck on something, we can't get rid of it. It just hangs there, no matter what we do, because it just won't let go. And it can burrow itself into certain roles, ideas, feelings, memories, and experiences that really make us feel trapped. And we don't know that. We don't know that. It's how it's so slippery it is. And when you begin to let go, this is when the most enlightening and empowering place appears and will greatly increase your manifesting vibration. You will become a super manifesting magnet for what you want. So then you say, I've got to be wise about choosing what I want. Most of us aren't. We just spew it out there. We don't really think about it most of the time. We just say, well, it'd be great, blue, blah, blah, blah. The experiences that you'll attract to you can only bring you into a more enlightened perspective when you abide in the knowing that consciousness is natural, effortless, and the essential, eternal state of what and who you already are. And then you become curious about this consciousness. It's like, if you think that you know it, then immediately let that thought go. It's just a thought, and not actually pure consciousness itself. Drop all ideas about who you truly are and liberate yourself completely. And this consciousness is truly unknowable and cannot be pinned down as something that we understand once and are forever done with it. It is as infinite as this universe and is here for you to explore throughout your entire lifetime. Your job is to gently unfold it and discover this dynamic divine being that you already are. And our consciousness we call what we are, truly are, in these bodies, pure consciousness. Here we call it the God source, and it is everywhere. And the secret to discovering it is being vulnerable, open, and receptive to this moment. Be honest with yourself about what your experience is, and then let that experience go. Now, at times, you may experience resistance. Then the resistance is there. Become that wall and let it go. Explore every experience that arises until it is finished. Your life will become more rich and wonderful and full of aliveness. Consciousness is not cold, hard, or rigid by any means. It contains a sacred warmth that you'll only find in the heart of it. This love is the love of your essence. It is already inside your heart, right here, right now. Just surrender to what is true and real. This is when you can incorporate in your morning ritual, is that just like this week, you can take a few minutes every morning to become completely still, silent, and relax into the pure consciousness. This is what we do in these meditations. Now, for some, this may be the hardest or the easiest thing that you've ever explored. So if you first do not find it, just relax deeper. It is already always here now. All it takes is total surrender to what is. And then what you do is you enjoy the ride. Or, I say I just float. You can picture yourself floating, and however you view it, let's say you're in a body of water. You're just floating. You're not thinking. You're not wondering. You're not stressing. None of that. And so what you're doing is you're just floating. You're in the now, in the moment. And then you're not looking. You're just, and then you feel all this noise around you kind of, but you're in the now moment, and you're just floating. And then there's people just splashing, and they're kind of grimacing and pulling and trying to get somewhere as fast as they can in that water. And they see you floating, and they can't figure out why you're floating. You should be with them. You should be hurrying. You should be pulling water. You should be kicking your legs, your feet, to get where everybody's trying to get, because you see, there's just a sea, an ocean of us pounding the water, trying to get somewhere, and yet we don't know where that is when it boils down to it. And so sometimes we'll go, well, I got here, but this can't be it. There's got to be more to it than this. I've got to keep going because this must not be what I'm looking for. And so we keep pounding the water and pulling them. And it's a never-ending journey from the perspective is that you never find it. But you believe, the ego mind keeps saying to you, you're going to find it. And you never find it. And then you get so exhausted, right, that you just sink to the bottom. You burn out. You sink to the bottom. And this is where we come in and we say, there's a bunch of us, we're all sitting. And we always have the choice, right? So where we're sitting, it's really calm and peaceful. Because there's no interference, no distractions. We're just being, right? And then there's a very large group of us that say, and you know, all around us there's this mayhem and chaos constantly. Now, the majority of us feel compelled to walk into that mayhem, right? We're drawn to it. So we walk into it. And it is nothing but chaotic, hurry, stressing and fearing and being overwhelmed. But we feel compelled to go into it. Now, some of us, we know that. We know what's there. And so we say, Not going in there. We don't care to go in there. It's not a place I really want to be. I am content here, in the moment, totally relaxed into my body, and just focused on my breath rising and falling. You see, when we get into that habit, we don't leave it. And then it expands out during the course of our day, our morning, our evening, our night, because we find ourselves practicing it almost all the time. Where you might say to yourself, you're taking a few breaths in, and you're letting go of things, and you're just relaxing. And when time like this, around on this planet, when we have this holiday, it can happen where we get too immersed in everything. And we feel like we're being pulled in many different directions. And this is where stress and conflict comes in with ourselves. You find it hard to relax because you feel compelled to be pulled and do this and do that, and do this and do that, and do this and do that. And you may want to kind of, wherever you're doing, you just take a couple of breaths in, let them out slowly, and be in the now for that moment, whatever it is you're doing. Right? And sometimes, it might sound strange, but when you have to alleviate yourself, you go to the bathroom, shut the door, right? There's a place where you can just take a few deep breaths, relax. You're not being interrupted. You won't be, in most cases. And you just enjoy the ride. You'd be amazed what that does for you when you find yourself in a hustle bustle, because it just melts away. And you'll notice that people are hurrying here, hurrying there, trying, want to do this, want to do that, want to do this, want to do that. But then some of us will say, you know what? I'm just going to chill right now, right in this moment. I'm just going to let it all go. And be in deep gratitude that you're able to do that, that you're aware enough to do that. And what does it do? It de-stresses. It lets all that stuff go because you're not in the ego mind in that moment. You're in the heart mind. And staying in the heart mind is, let's face it, is what we are practicing to do. Staying in the heart mind. And then we are able to look at the ego mind, and then we start to master the ego mind. And then from there, we begin to master our thoughts. So doing this is actually the primer for us to master the ego mind and our thoughts, and to discover who and what we really truly are in these bodies. So in a quiet time of this meditation, focus on nothing, zero. Don't think, don't go off over here, don't wonder about this. Just do nothing and just be. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out of the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Your physical body is a magical manifesting machine that is always attracting whatever your mind is seeing, feeling, and believing to be true. This means that every single desire you have in this life has the power to naturally be fulfilled effortlessly. You really are that amazing. Perhaps you're not fully aware of it, yet you're already practicing magical manifesting techniques every day. It's happening because you are a multidimensional super manifester born with the natural ability to magnetize any desire to you. Still don't believe me? Just for the next 60 seconds, try out this manifesting experiment. Allow yourself to become absorbed in the feeling that your dream life, your greatest life fantasy, your most exotic personal wish has just manifested for you. That's right. It suddenly has shown up and is in your life right now. How do you feel? You did it. Wow. You are so magical and powerful. Best of all, you didn't have to stress about it. You just allowed your resistance to your desire to shift on the inside. With zero resistance, you will naturally and effortlessly materialize it into your physical reality. The longer you can hold this feeling and vision inside, the faster it will physically show up on the outer world. Holding it for 30 seconds will manifest it twice as fast as holding it for 15 seconds. It really is that ridiculously simple. Controlling your mind simply comes down to noticing when your thoughts are focused on what you want or what you don't want. And noticing just how good it feels to visualize how magical, patient, and beautiful you already are. I just love noticing how each new day is becoming easier, lighter, and freer. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here Thursday, December 26, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening outside of you, nor within inside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic and the music to come flowing in. Have a great rest of your holiday.